It's so true. Things have been really crazy lately. So the other night, I decided, okay, I'm going to go ahead and go to a breathing and sound bath session. And not only am I going to go, but I'm going to go ahead and do 2 grams of magic mushrooms, go into the session and see what happens. And in this episode today, I'm going to share with you exactly what took place in those 2 hours at this breathing and sound bath session. Okay, so what I decided to do was as soon as I got to the parking lot safely, I ate about 1.5 grams of chocolate magic mushrooms in a bar. And I wanted to go into this sound bath session. It was also actually going to be the first hour was going to be breathing, and then the second hour was going to be a sound bath. And I've been to these sessions before. I love them. I love Jenny. She's the one that's kind of running the session. And I didn't really know what to expect this time exactly. So I got there, rolled out my yoga mat, got blankets to keep myself warm. And as I laid down, as I started to lay down and relax, I got there way early. So I had plenty of time. Um, Somebody came, actually, 2 people came and plopped their stuff down, like right in back of me, right? So I don't know. I think in a session like this, I try to be not near anybody else. And were they invading my space? I don't know. You could say that, there's only a certain amount of room. Even though it's a large room, there's only a certain amount of room in this room. So I packed up my stuff and moved a little bit closer to the wall where I wouldn't be near anybody. My wife was next to me, but my wife's fine. But I just didn't want to be near any other human beings. It's very difficult to explain, but I don't want to hear anybody else breathing. I don't want to hear anybody else shuffling around. I need alone time. And that's why I go to these sessions. I need to be alone and away from other people. If I want to be close to people, I'll get on a plane. But that's not what I wanted to do that evening. So I'm laying there relaxing. Jenny comes in and explains what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing holotropic breathing exercises for like the first hour, and then we're going to go ahead and segue into a really beautiful, relaxing sound bath where she plays various instruments, singing bowls, gongs, different types of percussion. I don't even know half of the names of them, but they're really, trust me, they're really, really cool sounding. So I'm settling in. I don't really feel anything yet from the psilocybin, but I'm waiting and waiting. And we start the breathing exercises, and it's going really well. And I'm just, my plan was not to really go deep into the breathing, but to just lay back and relax and also listen to the music that she plays, just really enjoy it and do a little bit of breathing, but not really heavy duty breathing. I'm waiting for this to kick in, but it's not, nothing's really profoundly happening. So I eat like another take like another big bite off of a piece of chocolate, which is, roughly, I didn't have a scale with me, but roughly another half a gram. So I've got like about 2 grams of magic mushrooms that I've eaten in this in this, not bath, in this class. Um, and it's going really well, and I'm enjoying the class, but I don't really feel much of a profound difference from the magic mushrooms at all. And we ultimately get to the point where we change into the sound bath part. So again, this Jenny is playing all types of singing bowls, and a lot of times she comes around and she even says, like, if it's okay with you, I'll touch you and I'll give you like energy and healing, and you can hold my hand. And it was great. I was loving every second of this sound bath portion of it. But I was expecting much bigger things from this and much deeper, if that's understandable. Like, I wanted to go very, very deep. I didn't want a heroic dose. I mean, I wanted to be able to function within, the situation where there are a lot of other people, and my wife was going to be driving home, so it was okay. I could have gone deeper, but I thought 2 grams would be totally, totally, totally fine for this. I think it's like a ideal dosage for this situation. And I felt a little bit, but not that much. And it was one of those situations where I was hoping to go much deeper, but I'm starting to wonder, like, can we somehow hold back our feelings when we're using psychedelics? Can we kind of hold back and we know we're in a public setting, we don't want to go too deep, but I did want to go deeper, but is it possible that somehow on some level my brain was holding me back? I'll never really know the answer to that, or I'm not sure if I'll know the answer to that. And the session was wonderful, but there were certain times that I was actually looking at my watch, counting down, like, okay, there's 30 minutes left. I'm not feeling much. What's going on here? I wish I were deeper. And that was a little bit weird. So the session ends. Again, I've got nothing but positive things to say about the session, but I'm wondering why I didn't go deeper, why I couldn't feel anything deeper. And I don't really have the answer to that. But then we get home, my wife drives, everything it's safe and everything's fine. And I'm sitting on the sofa at home. And this was at least at least 2.5 hours, or 2.5 to 3 hours after ingesting the magic mushrooms for the sound bath. And guess what? I'm feeling deeper now. Now, I never got to the point where it was, I don't even think I had any visuals at all, closed eye or open eye. I don't think, if closed eye was very little, open eye, definitely not. But I'm sitting on my sofa at home and I'm feeling like it's, fairly strong, but void of any kind of like true psychedelic effects at all. But I was liking it. I'm thinking, why couldn't I have experienced this during the sound bath and during the breathing exercise? Why couldn't I have experienced this? And a few conclusions I came to. First of all, everybody's different. I am willing to guarantee there are some people that if they would have used the same dose I would have used that evening with 2 grams, they would have been on a very deep trip. Zero question in my mind. Zero question. You might say it's a little bit of tolerance building up, and that's possible. I'm not going to dispute that. It's possible. However, when I take a microdose, I feel a microdose. Again, I take a microdose strong enough to not be trippy, not be psychedelic, not be high, not be snow. I can totally function on a microdose, totally. But I feel something's there. And the same thing with this 2 grams. I felt something was there, but it was nothing more than that. It felt to me like a strong microdose. So should I have done 3 grams? Should I have done four? What would have happened? I don't know. I was thinking that two would be totally fine. But so, okay, so I get home, I'm sitting on the sofa, I'm feeling it, but again, it felt like a strong microdose, like a stronger microdose for sure, but nothing more than that. And totally functionable. No, that's not the word. Totally functional. Not functionable. That's just a total made up word. Totally functional. Can have a conversation. I could have driven home, although that would not have been, you never want to experiment with something like that because you just never know for sure. And you never want to put yourself in a situation where, I thought I was okay, but I really wasn't. So you don't want to put yourself in that kind of situation. But why and what's next? Next time I go to the same type of class, am I going to try 2.5 to 3 grams? I mean, that could be extremely deep and maybe not very functional. I don't know. Did it help? Did the 2 gram, even though I wasn't really experiencing psychedelic effects, did it help? Maybe, maybe. What was my goal? My goal was to be totally relaxed in this session, breathing, sound bath, go very deep, think, maybe go back in time like I've done before. I mean, I've been much, much, much deeper on a microdose of magic mushrooms. I'm talking about a smaller, like 200 milligrams of magic mushrooms and a little bit of cannabis. I've been much deeper, and I've talked to you about the sensory deprivation float spa that I've been to, and sometimes a combination of the two. And oh, I've been much deeper. And I was hoping for an experience like that, but it never came. So how can we predict and how can we titrate and how can we dose? Because again, if I didn't know this going in, I didn't know that it wasn't going to be strong at all. So I could have just said to myself, well, I'm going to go in and take 3 grams, those 3 grams of magic mushrooms, but that could have been crazy. But so you don't really know going in exactly what to take. I'm experienced enough to know that this should have worked. It should have worked. But here's the thing. I am almost positive if I would have dosed something like, again, I'm just throwing this out there, but if I would have dosed 15 milligrams of cannabis and let's just say 400 to 500 milligrams of the magic mushrooms, I can predict almost with 100% certainty I would have been much, much, much deeper. Is it like cheating with cannabis? Like I was trying to do this all with magic mushrooms. Would it have been cheating a little bit if I said, okay, well, I'm going to do like a little cocktail and do both, and I'm positive it would have been fine. But here I am, my show is called Microdose U, and I generally talk about how you can change your life through magic mushrooms. So if I would have given like myself a little boost with cannabis, would that be in line with what I'm trying to preach and teach here? I mean, yes, maybe, because again, I'm experimenting and I'm trying to figure this out. And look, I mean, I wish I would have done it the other way, and I would have been able to say to you, I almost guarantee that if you use cannabis plus magic mushrooms, you would be very, very deep, and it would be a beautiful trip during a class like this. I would almost guarantee that would be the case. But I wanted to be pure, and I wanted to only go with the magic mushrooms. And that's what I got back. Very little. A little bit, but I'd say too little. I wanted more. I wanted more from that experience. So again, moving forward, we just have to figure things out, and everybody's different. But I think moving forward, next time I'm going to go ahead and use the combination, and I'll report back to you and see what happens, because I was not happy with the results from only the magic mushrooms. I was not happy with it. I mean, it was fine, but I wanted to go deeper, and it didn't really work. And I know looking back, I could have predictably gone deeper had I gone with the tried and true combination of the two. Predictably gone deeper, no question about it. So, okay, if by the way, if you like what you're hearing, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Brand new episode comes out every single Wednesday and Friday. And check the show notes and also my website, Microdose U. A lot of links, a lot of really great information. If you're truly wanting to change your life for the better, if you're experiencing depression, anxiety, I've got a lot of answers for you. Just go back and listen to a lot of episodes of this podcast, which I've recorded over the past several years, because I've been doing on this microdosing journey for close to 4 years now. Not quite 4 years, but it's approaching 4 years. And I've learned a lot, and I know how to change lives, and I've changed my life 100%. And I've also got, the possibility of some guidance, some personal guidance, if that's what you want, if you don't want to go this on your own, if you don't want to do this on your own, that's possible as well. So again, just check the show notes, website, microdoseu.com. It's spelled microdose with the letter U on the end of it. And everything you're looking for should be there. And if not, I've also got my Patreon channel, which I do talk about some things there that I just simply don't talk about in other places. So that one is a paid. It supports the show, but it's a paid channel. But it's very inexpensive. I keep it that way, but it does help the show a lot. Okay, I hope this helped in some little way. The moral of the story is it's all unpredictable. We can't guarantee what's going to happen. Be careful, be diligent, titrate, and then use what information you learn from previous or existing trips to go on your next journey and experiment and see what happens. Luckily, psilocybin is, believe it or not, it's one of the safest plant medicines out there. You can't overdose. You could go on a wild, crazy trip, but you can't overdose. It's not going to do anything as far as like harming your body. It won't do that. But again, this is not medical advice, and do your own research and do your own experimentation and just be careful out there. I love you. I'm Dr. Dave, and I'll talk to you in the next episode of Microdose U.